almost $5 billion they have in cash. Again, no debt, by the way. We think they should put at least half of that amount, at least $2.5 billion should go into Bitcoin at this point. The problem that Ryan Cohen, excellent CEO, has is that he should have made these moves a year or 2 years ago. When Bitcoin was 30, 40, $50,000.
But that's what an if, right? That doesn't matter anymore, right? That's in the past. But for the future, you say this is a good approach, though.
Absolutely. It's a great special situation stock. We played AMC. We did well there. We used Trump Media, did well there. We think GameStop is going to 50 on this move, ultimately $100, because this is now a $13 billion hedge fund that's got the ability to invest in Bitcoin, which is just getting started, is the best supply-demand story there is. We applaud Ryan Cohen on this excellent move.
CNBC has learned that President Trump has issued pardons to the 3 co-founders of the Bitcoin Mercantile Exchange, or known as BitMEX. They had pled guilty to a range of charges related to money laundering and failure to police the exchange. The 3 men issued pardons are Arthur Hayes, Benjamin Dello, and Samuel Reed. Now, Reed had pled guilty to violating the Bank Secrecy Act back in 2022 and agreed to pay a $10 million fine. And at the time, prosecutors said the 3 men effectively operated BitMEX as a money laundering platform and that its purported withdrawal from the United States market was a sham. No indication from the White House here on exactly why the president chose these 3 men for pardons. Nonetheless, I'm told these pardons were signed last night.
That's Elon Musk announcing on X that XAI has acquired X in an all-stock transaction, saying that this combination values XAI at $80 billion and X at $33 billion, $45 billion less $12 billion in debt, saying since its founding 2 years ago, XAI has rapidly become one of the leading AI labs in the world, building models and data centers, saying X is the digital town square where more than 600 million active users go to find the real-time source of ground truth, and in the last 2 years has been transformed into one of the most efficient companies in the world, positioning it to deliver scalable future growth. He goes on to talk about combining the data, models, compute, distribution, and talent of these 2 companies, this advanced AI capability of XAI and X's massive reach. He says this will allow us to build a platform that actively accelerates human progress. And he thanks everyone for their support.
On the pharma tariffs, Mr. President, you've been talking about the pharma tariffs and what to expect there. Are you going to exempt life-saving medications, or what can we expect there?
Well, we'll be announcing it soon, but we have to bring pharmaceuticals, drugs and pharmaceuticals back into our country.
And what's the rate you're looking at? 15%, 25%?
We're looking at a certain number that will be enough to get the drugs and the pharmaceutical companies bringing their product into our country. I never want to have to rely on other countries for that, like we did at COVID.
Yeah, it may take another quarter, I think, Mel, because what you're seeing currently is that this GDP data is negative because of basically the import effect. So it should be put back into GDP, so to speak, arithmetically. But then it's about, like, what's the confidence effect that we're seeing coming through as well in the Michigan data that we saw today, really going to do to spending in the following quarter. People really going to pare back. And, to Courtney's point, like the savings rate ticked up a little bit, and so people are getting cautious, and is that caution going to continue? So it may still stay with us for a quarter at least for this distorted data before you get more clarity on the economy itself. For the Fed, however, it is that fog that Barker was talking about. They can't really do anything, in part because they deal already with hotter inflation from all this front loading.
Most important chart.
Mine is the 10-year, which was interesting today. I mean, to me, it's just, as a proxy for the economy, right? And so today what it was telling us is concern about stagflation. And so in the face of that, it's hard for the market to rally a lot. So that's my most important chart.
Guy.
Hello. In a similar vein of the cautionary tale, the gold market, which is something we've been harping on now for a couple of years, but recently, now it seems to be impervious to everything. Historically, news that would come out to make gold go lower, it's no longer happening. So gold to me is a story that's sort of portending, I think, something, to Karen's point, sort of scary that's out there. I think the gold market is sort of a prelude to that kiss. Remember that show on Broadway?
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Gamestop buying Bitcoin. And who comes? That's right, the shorters. Because we're about to get into that movie once again. They're going to set up a distraction for something bigger they have set up. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we have Trump pardons BitMEX co-founders. And don't forget, Arthur Hayes was on CNBC all the time. Those who've been with me from the beginning know I used to talk about Arthur Hayes all the time because we knew which way the market was going to go. He was like the Jim Cramer of crypto, because whatever he said was about to happen, it was the opposite. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we have XAI acquires X. That means Elon just gave itself $33 billion. Yes, you heard that correct. Guys, this is unbelievable. It's like Walmart opening up a separate company, renting from itself, so therefore they can write off the rent. You can't make this stuff up. Now we have Trump talking about tariffs on Big Pharma, bringing Big Pharma back inside the United States. And all the people who voted for Trump have no clue what he's really doing. And we know he's building this new digital economy. And he's also letting the stock market take a beating. Another $1 trillion off the market today. And we have PCE data. Inflation is still here. And Jerome Powell stated we wouldn't get to that 2% until 2027. And savings data is showing that smart people are holding that money. They're not buying. And we see all these businesses closing, all these layoffs. And we know at the end of the day, Warren Buffett has all that cash sitting on the side so he can buy up things, pennies on the dollar. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we see CNBC speaking on those yield rates and the gold market. And we know no one wants that long-term paper except the Fed. And their only savior are those stable coins. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And we see gold just keep hitting highs because we know the central banks are buying it up because fiat is dead. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And again, we have Michael Farr on Trump's tariffs. Wall Street is taking a whipping. But remember, this is planned out a long time ago. I told you every first quarter, we always take a hit. But it's almost $7 trillion. This algorithm has taken out the market. And don't forget who pumped us this high. And that's the Fed. Remember, they printed 80% of all money in existence in 2 years and tapped BlackRock to buy everything up. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Now, April, of course, starts first quarter earnings. And I do see the market start to move back up. Of course, in cryptos, we'll continue to pump and dump on our normal date. Now, we have KB Homes building fire-resilient homes. And we know we've had this technology forever. Same way when we look at the electric car. The electric car has been around forever, but it's when the NWO wants to use the technology. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. Now we have Los Angeles faces $1 billion deficit and will be laying off thousands. And they will not be the only ones. We're just going to keep seeing layoffs, keep picking up, just because technology is going to be the fix. And we'll get that narrative sometime at the end of this year, beginning of next year, on universal basic income. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. Y'all have a wonderful day.
I don't think anything turns it around from D.C., Brian. I mean, President Trump's strategy and his MO has been to keep things off balance, has to be a bit bombastic in his speechifying, even though when it comes to policy making, you really see where the rubber hits the road, keeps everybody off of balance. It might be working in terms of getting people to the table, but it doesn't work for Wall Street, and it's torture on investors. I don't think anything changes. I think Washington is now the money capital of the world, not New York. Sorry, folks up there. I wish it were New York, clearly. But as long as he keeps changing the tariffs and keeps changing the numbers, Wall Street has to react, and so does the economy.
What's happening is a very normal process where the market is being revalued for a higher risk premium for U.S. assets, right? The more what businesses need, what investors need is clarity and consistency. And we've been lacking both clarity and consistency. So when you don't have clarity and consistency, you want a higher risk premium. It's like a junk bond versus a treasury. You want a higher risk premium. And so that's what we're seeing. So we've seen about 4 or 5 multiple points knocked off the S&P so far this year, despite reasonably healthy earnings. And that's everybody reassessing for the uncertainty. Now, you couple that, just one more thing here, you couple that with the notion that we entered the year with investors being historically confident about the future. If you look at, Merrill Lynch showed that the private client beta was up to 1.7. Michael Hartnett and Merrill pointed that out. I mean, that's tremendous amount of risk in a portfolio. So what you did was you entered the year with people being incredibly historically confident, and they got socked in the jaw by all this uncertainty.
Meet wildfire resilience standards developed by the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety. The standards are designed to protect homes against the 3 major sources of ignition. That is flying embers, flames, and radiant heat. IBHS is the nonprofit that sets fire to homes at its research facility. KB Home executives saw one of their demonstrations last summer and decided to implement the standards at the community they had already started building.
Since the depths of the Great Recession, and this far exceeds even the shortfalls that we were seeing in the early period of COVID-19. In the next few years, it's going to be a really tough time to be Mayor Karen Bass and CAO Matt Szabo.
So you said there will be, quote, extremely difficult cost-cutting decisions to be made, potentially thousands of layoffs. Is there a way to work through this without a large number of layoffs?
It will be at this stage, and why I made that statement to the council is that we do need to prepare for that magnitude of position reductions.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box, provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important.
look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're going to get more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, is time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Drama Team save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Drama Team save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Drama Team goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.